I can't get enough of this chicken. It is so darn good. Buttery, salty, herby, amazing. Can't wait to eat all of this. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Gerardo Grills. My name is Gerardo. Today I'm going to be doing a smoked spatchcock chicken on the Bradley P10 smoker you see here right behind me. If you've never spatchcocked a chicken before, or any sort of poultry, you can do it with a turkey or anything else for that matter, you're really missing out. Spatchcocking really cuts the cooking time in about half, and it makes everything cook so evenly. The breast and the thigh all cook really relatively around the same time, and it tastes so delicious. You get that smoke infused from the bottom and smoke infused from the top. Really, you can't go wrong with it. Are you ready to get going? Let's go. All right, here we go. We've got a 3-pound chicken here I got from the store. Just a little tiny fryer chicken. You can do this with any chicken, any size, all the same process. So what you want to do first is kind of flip it on its breast. And what you're going to do is we're going to cut out the spine here. And that's what's called spatchcocking. So we're going to take some shears and we're going to cut all the way along. And just kind of be careful. You can do this with a knife as well. Just be very careful with it if you're using a knife. And there you have it. So once you've removed the spine, you've got this little guy here like this. What you want to do is flip it back on its back, and you're going to kind of spread this out. The goal is to flatten that out as much as you can. So you're going to want to do that, and then kind of give it a little press. And there you go. And once you've got it kind of broken apart, you kind of flattened out that chest. It's going to sit nice and flat on your pan like so. You can, from this point on, now it's just a part of the seasoning. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put a couple of pads of butter underneath the skin here, and between the skin and the breast. And what that's going to do is going to help me baste this meat as it cooks. So got some regular old butter, and just very carefully kind of work your finger in to the under the skin. You don't want to rip that skin, because otherwise that butter is all going to come out of there. That guy, I know it's pretty big, but trust me, it'll be worth it. You've got the butter now in there. That's going to melt away nicely and baste that breast as it goes along. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just some paper towel and kind of dab dry some of this skin here. If it's a little wet, mine is a little damp still from being in the fridge. Just dry it off as much as you can. Okay, and for seasoning, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this this type of seasoning here. This is a sea salt with herb mixed from a company here in Canada called Favuzzi. You can use regular sea salt and just use salt and pepper if you like. I have made this on my own, and it's really just sea salt with some fresh herbs. You can use some rosemary, some thyme, some sage. Just finely chop it and mix it in with sea salt, and it works really, really well. This is a pre-made blend, so I'm just going to use that. And I'm going to season actually, first I'm going to flip it over to the cavity first. And I'm going to season this super liberally. Just going to give it quite a bit. Get some of that flavor onto this meat. Nice. There we go, we've got that. Now I'm just going to go all over the skin here. And there you have it. So now you've got it nice and seasoned. You've got some nice salty crust on the outside with a little bit of herbs. And this is going to sit like this until the smoker gets up to temperature. It should only be about 20 minutes or so. And once we've got there, we'll be able to put it onto the smoker. But I'll show you when we're ready to do that. All right, here we go. So we've got our smoker ready to go here. I've got it running at 320 degrees. And I'm running right now, I'm running some mesquite and some hickory wood. Now, because this is a pretty small chicken, and chicken or light meat in general really takes on quite a bit of smoke, and it does it pretty quickly. I'm only going to do about 40 minutes of smoke. So I've only put in a couple of biscuits in there right now, and that's just going to give me that hint of smoke, and then we're going to finish the rest of that cooking here just like this. But it's going to be just perfect amount of smoke for it. It'll be ready to go. I've got a pan underneath here you saw me just put in there, and that's just to catch any of that butter drippings that fall down, just so that it doesn't kind of drip onto the bottom to the burner itself. But other than that, we're ready to go. I do have a thermometer put in there right now, and that one is set to 165 degrees. So once that breast hits 165 degrees, we're going to be ready to pull it out of here. Until then, I'm going to close this up and save some of that heat. All right, so our chicken has now reached about 130 degrees internal. You can see the color is looking pretty darn good. What I'm going to do here is we're in the last stretch here. I'm going to give it a little bit of a base with butter that's been mixed with some dry herbs. So here I've got, it's just melted butter with some herbs, and hopefully you can see, try not to tip it all over. But what we're going to do is give it a little, these little white pieces here, you can see some of it is not getting all the color we want. But just going to give it a little baste, just to kind of give it a little bit of extra color. I don't know if you can hear it, but boy, skin's nice and crispy. And that's a lot because of that salt that we put on that dried out that skin a bit. It's just perfect. And that's it. We're gonna let it go till the internal temperature of the breast gets to 160, and then I'm going to pull it out of there. All right, here we go. This is the finished product. It hit 160. I pulled it out, let it rest. It's now 165, and it looks beautiful. Check it out. I can't wait to carve this up, so let's give her a try. All right, here we go. We've got this beautiful chicken ready to go now. It's been smoked. Whoop, a little juicy. I don't want the juices to fall out, but it looks absolutely incredible. Hopefully you can see it there. I showed you earlier, but it looks amazing. So let's give it a try before it gets too cold. A little chilly outside here. So, here we go. Now I'll be honest, I'm not the best at carving chickens or poultry in general, but I'm pretty good at eating them. Give it a try. Cheers. You get a lot of those herby flavors from the salt and the herbs that were mixed in with it. And again, you can make this yourself. A little bit of sea salt, some chopped up fresh herbs. Just chop them up real fine and mix them together and season this very liberally. If you got time, season it the night before and let it sit overnight in the fridge. And all those flavors will get right into the meat, and it's gonna be so delicious. But this is absolutely perfect. Just the right amount of salt, right amount of herbiness to it. So tender, so juicy, and a hint of smoke. The other thing that you get a lot of it is that butter we put in under the skin really bastes the breast meat. So generally the breast meat or the white meat is what tends to dry out a bit. The dark meat has a lot of fat in it, so no need to really worry about that. That can actually go right up to 195, 200 degrees and still be super moist. The breast, on the other hand, if it cooks beyond 165 degrees, it starts to dry out quite a bit. Add that butter. I mean, you still don't want to overcook it. You want to make sure you're keeping a good close eye on the temperature, but that butter bastes the meat and adds a lot of moisture into it, moisture and flavor. So if you've got yourself some nice compound butter that you made with some herbs, add that on there, because it's going to add all those flavors onto the meat, and it's going to be so good. The more smoke isn't always better. Some things like poultry, and particularly chicken, the lighter meats, if you smoke them too much, they get too much of a smoky flavor and it's not that great. So you only want to add a little bit of smoke to this while it's smoking. So I did it for the first 40 minutes of my smoke. You can do it, I would say up to about an hour, 20 minutes or so. Get that smoke in early and then get rid of it, because you don't need it after that. It's just a nice hint of smoke throughout, and it's so darn good. I can't get enough of this chicken. It is so darn good. Buttery, salty, herby, amazing. Can't wait to eat all of this. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Like you saw at the start of the video, I do have a special offer for you. If you'd like to purchase any one of the Bradley products that you saw in my video today, whether it's the smoker, the biscuits, or any one of the Bradley accessories that Bradley sells, head on over to bradley.com and use code GROD at checkout and save yourself a little bit of cash. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see some more, make sure you hit the subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content. If you want to see some more of me, head on over to my channel, my youtube.com/GrodGrills, and give me a subscribe there to check out my content. Until next time, I'll catch you on the next G-Rod Grills.